Ladies and gentlemen, before your very eyes and without the aid of any safety net or anything up my sleeves, I'm about to turn this humble little spreadsheet into something rather more exciting. Right, well the first thing I've got to do is just simply select the data to tell the spreadsheet which data to use, and then we come up here to insert and this rather intriguing 3D map. Let's start a new tour. Now, the first time I did this, I had to take in a permission. I'm sure you'll have to do the same thing, but then it'll open up like this. And we're very used to this with Google Earth, things like that. But our data from that spreadsheet is just waiting to be plotted in here. Now, the first thing that I need to do is to tell it which location information I need. So I've just the list of countries. So pop those in and you can see it has found them. It's located those countries. Now I need to tell it which category to use for this, and I'm just simply going to use the United Nations classification for countries, and boom. Okay, you might be saying to yourself, that's maybe not the way I would like it to be mapped. That's okay. Up here you've got the different ways in which the data can be mapped, so we'll just change it to region, and there you go. You have got all the regions of the world mapped on like that for you. You can zoom in and out. You can turn it into a flat map if you want to look at that in particular, and then you can turn it back into your 3D globe. Now, more than that, you can then use this little function over here to do a little bit of a tour. So what if you wanted to compare MEDCs, or as we call them from the Northern Ireland specification, or your developed countries up here with some of the other regions? You can look at it from the North Pole like this, and that's your scene captured. Now, what if you want then to go and compare that area with Africa? Let's zoom around like this, zoom in a little bit more to the continent of Africa, and new scene. And there you'll see that it appears for you. And so on and so forth. Really very simple to go ahead and do that. Now, I did have a wee look at a couple of other examples of this where you can then plot in some other values and things. So I've got HDI in here. So let's see if we can add in the HDI field. Well, lo and behold, what you've created here basically is a GIS map, and like any GIS map, you can add on a layer. So let's do that. And what we want to do is put on HDI this time. So our location is the country again, and our category is HDI, and there it appears. Now, it defaults to these different colors for them, so I'm still finding my way around this. I'm not entirely sure how we do this. Let's see if I change that. And yeah, that's so if you do it that way, just with the height, that gives you the different values for the HDI on there. So you can go to any country in the world, you can go and investigate it, get the classification and get the HDI. Now, how you can then turn that into a tour is just very simply with these scenes. So let's say I want to zoom out a little bit here, and I want to flatten the map first of all to give me my overview like that. And then let's say I don't want to show that layer to begin with, so I can hide that layer, and I have captured the scene. This is where I want to start. So then I want a copy of that new scene, but then this is where I tell the map what to do. I want to turn it into a 3D globe, because why not? That looks pretty cool. So that's what I'm going to do. First of all, turn the 2D map into 3D globe. Then I'm just going to go copy a scene, and let's say here that I want to go and have a look at the Northern Hemisphere first of all. Well, let's see if we can get this to cooperate. We can zoom in there and have a look at the Northern Hemisphere, at all the developed countries. Let's say I want then to compare that with Africa. Well, you've guessed it. New scene, can make a copy of the scene. And then round here we come to Africa, and let's just say at this stage we want to turn this layer on that shows the HDI values, so we can go in and explore those HDI values with the countries as well as their classifications. And let's say we want to finish off by comparing, just leave that there, sorry. New scene, let's say we want to compare that with South America, where there is a lot less variation in the classifications. Just move it around there and boom, you're done. And then you can play the tour. So you click on that and it starts with the open map for you. You just click on there through these and you move through the slides one by one, and it moves around going from scene to scene. Or I think if we do it this way, let's see if I hit, I can just play the tour. It defaults to 10 seconds, so let's say I want to take that down, hit the little cog here, take that down to 5 seconds, because 10 seconds is a little bit long for this. 5 and X out, and there you go, 5 seconds. Same with this one. Double click on there, change that to 5, X out, there we go, 5 seconds. Just give me a moment or two while I do this, and then I can play this for you. And down here for this one, 5 seconds, X, and finally here, double click and 5 seconds and X. Right, now this time I'll just play the tour and hopefully it'll just do its thing. There we go. We start with the overview of the entire world and hopefully it'll start to wrap up into a globe. There we go. Then we want to take a look at the northern hemisphere, so we'll go to the North Pole, shall we? And there we go, and you can take a look at the pattern there in the northern hemisphere. Let's just say that we want to compare that to Africa. We look at the pattern here, and you can see there's much more variety across Africa, but it's not a single story. Remember, Africa is a continent, not countries. South America, in contrast, is much more uniform in the way in which it's classified, and so on and so forth. Well, you get the idea. I'm still very much learning, but knowing what this can do will definitely fire a lot of those pedagogical ideas, and the know-how, well, we'll just jump in and dabble around a wee bit, will we?